Laura here from Fresh, today to talk to you about interview tips. So as you know, at Fresh, we not just do recruitment and find candidates, but we help our clients in loads of different ways. And one of those ways, a big part of what we do, is interviews. So yes, we help them with their interview questions, their structure, their format. We can actually do the interviews with them if they're not feeling confident or comfortable themselves, if they're not experienced at interviewing because they don't do it that often, then why would they be? So we don our capes and we parachute in and save the day, and in however way they want that to be, we support them in different ways. So we also give guidance, advice and tips on different things. So it's not always easy to just test candidates from asking them questions, because they might give the answer that they think you want to hear, they might embellish. Naughty people, don't do that. And you can prep for them if you're asking questions that are quite, generic. Candidates are wily, so you do have to put them through their paces a little bit sometimes, but don't be mean to them, just put them through their paces. So if it's an IT position, you can do a technical test and quiz them on their technical knowledge. If it's a sales position, you can ask them to do like a sales pitch or a presentation, so you can gauge how they would be in front of one of your very valuable customers or prospects. But it isn't always that easy if there isn't specific things to test them on. So it's a bit difficult for us at Fresh, for example. We can't just ring them up and go, get them to ring a candidate and go, right, sell this job, tell them about this opportunity, because the candidate doesn't know anything about it. Our candidate doesn't know anything about it, and that would be really mean. So it is difficult, but what we want to test and find out is about who they are, how do they go about doing things, how do they complete tasks, how do they convey information, and things like that. So we do personality profiling, but it's really important to add these steps into the interview if you can and want to. So a good one for us, we get them to do there's a few things that we get them to do. So we get them to write their own bio for the website. So we ask them to look at what's already out there on our website about us and kind of write their own in the same style, covering similar things. So that's a good one, because people that write a really short one, there's no tone or personality to it. There's not much in it, basically. It's just really short and to the point, which is fine, but it isn't like our bios. But someone who's quite superfluous, has a lot of descriptive words in, you can almost hear them talking when you read it, then that's what we're looking for. Another one that I'm going to talk to you today is to get them to either walk you through, either write it down or tell you how they would make a cup of tea, which sounds really simple. And you're like, well, I don't necessarily need them to be able to make tea for the job, but it's how they do this task that you're interested in. So someone could be like, right, well, I get a cup, put a tea bag in, boil the kettle, put the water in the cup, add sugar, maybe milk, add milk, maybe sugar, stir, done. Fine, you get a cup of tea. And that is one way of doing it. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right. But another person might be like, right, okay, so I'm going to choose my favourite mug. The mugs that I like. Me, it's my pug mug. I'm going to boil the kettle. Then I'm going to decide what tea I would like. Is it herbal tea? Is it decaf? Is it normal caffeinated tea? And then they'll go about making the tea. So if it's herbal or loose leaf, they might say, right, well, you need a tea bowl or a teapot. Or you might just say, put a tea bag in the cup. Then you obviously, let's just pretend that I boiled the kettle, but it'll be really noisy. Boil the kettle, you put them, hang on a minute, let me put the tea bag in. Put the tea bag in, then you add the hot water, and then different steps to the other person, because they're like, right, well, you need to stir it, you need to let it stew for a little bit, then you need to squeeze out the tea bag, squeeze it out, and then you'd either put it on the draining board or on one of those little tea bag plate things that you can get, or put it in the bin. So they might even add in these steps. And then you want to think, right, do I want it black? Should it be almond milk? Should it be cow's milk? What do I fancy? And then they'll add that in, and then they'll say, right, well, maybe I want sugar or a sweetener. They'll say exactly how many sugars, and they'll say exactly how many sweeteners, and then they'll stir it, and then there's your cup of tea. So in either situation, luckily you get a cup of tea, but it's done in a different way. One person is much more creative, uses descriptive language, adds a lot more detail. There's a bigger process to it. Nothing is left out. They would be really good at teaching others because nothing is left out. They go to great lengths to make sure that cup of tea is done in the right way and it's as perfect every time as it can be. The other people are not worse or better, but they still give you a cup of tea. It might be different every time. It might not be the most amazing cup of tea, but it's done, and it's done quickly, and it's delivered on time, in budget, every time. They might not necessarily have the patience for training other people, mentoring and guiding, and that is fine. What you've got to decide is, what do you need for your specific position? What skill set do you want? And which tea maker is the best fit for you? So that is it. I will leave you with that. Be interesting to see if you implement it. Let me know how it goes, and I will be back tomorrow.